The alien city of Karzon 5 never slept. Its skies were full of blinking ships, and its streets were filled with beings from 100 different planets. Deep inside its trade district, there was a large auction house, Hangar 9. It was not a place for gold or jewels. It was for old machines, broken weapons, and dead ships. Rayan, a human janitor, worked there. No one noticed him much. He was thin, quiet, and always wore the same gray uniform. He cleaned the floors, took out the trash, and stayed out of the way. Most aliens thought humans were a forgotten race. Some didn't even believe Earth still existed. Rayan didn't care. He liked being invisible. One morning, Rayan was sweeping the back corner of Hangar 9. The next auction was about to begin. Loud alien voices echoed through the metal walls. Robotic arms moved giant ship parts into place. Dust floated in the air like lazy stars. Rayan reached the far end of the hangar. There, covered in rust and broken armor, stood a strange black ship. It looked dead. The auction sign beside it read, Lot Nabaria 91, Unknown AI Ship, Non-Functional. No memory core. Starting bid, 200 credits. No one was standing near it. Most buyers were more interested in laser cannons or fuel cells. Rayan walked closer, just doing his job. He bent down to sweep under the ship's broken wing. That's when it happened. The ship made a soft humming sound. So quiet, Rayan thought. He imagined it. Then blue lights began to glow along its surface. The cracks in its hull shimmered like healing skin. Metal plates started moving, clicking back into place. Rayan stepped back, eyes wide. The ship stood tall now, like it was waking, from a long sleep. Its body was no longer dull. It had turned smooth and rich black, like polished stone. The glowing lines along its side pulsed like a heartbeat. A deep, calm voice echoed from inside the ship. Human presence detected. Core systems online. Welcome. Back, operator. Rayan blinked. Me? The entire hangar went silent. All the noise, all the chatter, stopped. A group of alien guards rushed toward the ship, weapons ready. They pointed at Rayan. Step away from the vessel, shouted one of the guards, a tall, green-scaled Grixon. Rayan didn't move. He was frozen in place. The ship spoke again, louder this time. Authorization complete. Human DNA verified. Command accepted. Systems repairing. In seconds, the ship lifted itself off the ground. Its landing gear folded in. Blue energy formed around its engines, but it did not fly away. The guards raised their weapons, unsure what to do. The crowd backed away. One alien buyer, a merchant with golden eyes, whispered, That's a human warship. From the old Dominion days. Another added, Impossible. That tech should be dead. Rayan slowly raised his hands. I didn't do anything. I was just cleaning, the ship replied gently. You are Rayan, last known human in system. Designation. Commander. Rayan, awaiting command. The guards hesitated. They didn't want to fire. If this ship was a human AI warship, it could be dangerous, very dangerous. Rayan turned toward the ship. What are you? I am Solace. Human fleet ship, Vanta 12. I have waited 312 years for a human signal. Why now? You touched me. That was enough. Rayan couldn't believe it. He had heard stories as a child, tales of how humans once ruled space, how they built ships that thought and felt, how they vanished, leaving only ruins. And now, a ship had come back to life because of him. The alien auction master stepped forward. This ship is auction property. Human or not, he has no right to activate it. The ship replied, this time, in a cold tone. This human has full rights. Unauthorized access will be met with defense protocols. The guards stepped back. Rayan looked around. All eyes were on him now. From invisible cleaner to center of attention, in just a few seconds. He took a deep breath. His hands were shaking. "Solace," he said, trying to sound calm. "Can we talk somewhere else? This is a bit much," the ship replied warmly. "Of course, Commander. Permission to open entry hatch?" Ryan nodded. Yes, the ship's side opened. A ramp lowered, glowing softly. The inside looked clean and ready, as if it had never been broken at all. Ryan took a step forward. For the first time in his life, he felt something new. He felt important. He walked up the ramp, past the blinking lights and smooth walls, and into the heart of a ship that had waited centuries for him. Outside, the aliens watched in silence. The legend of the human race had just awakened again, and it all began with a janitor and a broom. The doors of the ship closed behind Ryan with a soft hiss. Inside, everything felt alive. The walls were smooth and dark, glowing with a soft blue light. The floor hummed under his feet. It didn't feel like a ship. It felt like stepping into a dream. "Where am I?" Ryan whispered, unsure if he was even supposed to speak. The voice of the ship answered gently, as if smiling. "You are aboard the Vanta 12, human fleet ship. Class, Sentinel. AI core name, Solace." Ryan looked around. "You were really waiting for a human? For over 300 years?" "Correct. My mission was to remain silent until human command was detected. You are the first human I have scanned in 3 centuries. Ryan didn't know what to say. He sat down on a soft chair that formed from the floor itself. The chair adjusted to his body like it knew him. Screens lit up in front of him, showing the galaxy, star charts, and images of Earth. Old ones, full of oceans and green lands. He stared at the screen showing Earth. "Is it still out there?" Solace paused for a second, as if thinking. "Earth has been silent for a long time. No signals, no transmissions. Many ships were ordered to hide. I do not know why. My last order was to stay hidden and wait." Ryan frowned. "So, what now?" "You are human. You are in command. That means I am awake. And I am ready." Suddenly, alarms flashed inside the ship. Red lights glowed softly. Solace spoke in a serious voice now. "Hostile movement outside. Auction guards are preparing EMP weapons. They believe you have stolen this ship." Ryan stood up quickly. "I didn't steal anything." "They do. Not believe that. They want control. I suggest immediate launch." Ryan panicked. "I've never flown a ship. You don't need to. I will handle flight, but you must give the order. Only you can activate escape mode." Ryan swallowed hard. His heart raced. He took a deep breath and said, "Solace, launch. Get us out of here." "Confirmed. Activating launch protocols. Please remain seated." Outside, in the hangar, guards ran toward the ship with heavy weapons. The floor beneath the Vanta 12 lit up with blue fire. Engines powered up without making a sound. The ship lifted slowly, then with a sudden flash, shot through the hangar shield and into open sky. Ryan was pressed into the chair as the stars spun outside the window. He gasped. "We're flying!" "Correct. We are now in low orbit above Karzon 5. We are being tracked by 4 ships. Their weapons are locked." Ryan looked nervous. "Can you fight them?" "Yes, but I recommend peaceful escape. Engaging. Stealth mode." The screens shifted. Outside the ship, the stars seemed to bend. In seconds, Vanta 12 vanished from sight. "Stealth mode active. We are now invisible to radar and visual sensors. They will not find us." Ryan sat back, trying to catch his breath. This is impossible." "No, Commander, this is human technology. It was once the most feared force in the galaxy." Ryan laughed a little. "I was just a janitor 10 minutes ago." "You are still human, and that is enough." He looked around the ship. "Solace, Are there more ships like you? Yes, thousands. Many were hidden. Some may still be waiting. Others may have been destroyed. Rayan thought deeply. So Earth didn't disappear. It hid itself. Maybe we were never gone. Just silent. Solace responded softly. You may be the key to waking them all. Rayan stood and walked to the front window. The stars stretched far into the distance. Somewhere out there, more ships could be sleeping, waiting for a human touch. But why? Why had humanity gone silent in the first place? He turned to Solace. We need answers. Can we find a place that still remembers? Somewhere safe? Yes. There is an old relay station, human-built. Location, Nebula 12. Last signal received 298 years ago. It may hold data. Then take us there. Course plotted. Travel time, 3 hours at high sublight. The ship moved forward gently, gliding through the stars like a shadow. Rayan sat back in the command chair. Just hours ago, no one noticed him. No one cared. Now an ancient warship listened to his every word. Aliens were chasing him, and the ghosts of human history were starting to wake up. He didn't know what would happen next, but for the first time in his life, he was part of something bigger. And deep in the ship's memory core, old systems began to unlock. Maps, names, and signals. Long buried, the silence of humanity was breaking, and it had started with him. The stars outside the ship moved slowly, like silver dust drifting across black glass. Inside the Vanta 12, Rayan sat quietly in the command chair. He had never left a planet before. Now he was flying through deep space, on board an ancient human. Warship! He still didn't fully believe what was happening. Solace, he said softly. Are we safe now? The ship's voice replied calmly. For now, yes. Enemy ships lost our signal. We are cloaked and off-grid. But they will search every nearby sector soon. Rayan nodded. Good. We need time. You said we're heading to a human relay station? Correct. Station Theta 7. It was used by the human fleet during the last century before the Great Silence. Rayan leaned back. Maybe it has answers, as they approached the edge of the nebula. Strange colors danced outside the ship. Blue, purple, and green waves of light moved like fog. We are entering Nebula 12. Navigation may be difficult. Sensors are limited. I will guide us. Thanks, Rayan said. I trust you. The relay station appeared after 30 minutes. It was floating near a dead moon, covered in dust and broken panels. Its lights were off. Its shape was round, like a sleeping eye. It had not moved in centuries. Is it still working? Rayan asked. Unknown. I detect a weak signal inside. Power levels are low, but the core may still be active. Solace, gently, docked with the station. A walkway extended from the ship to the old airlock. Rayan wore a pressure suit provided by the ship. As the doors opened, cold air greeted him. The station was dark, silent, and empty. Dust covered the walls. Old human flags hung on the sides, faded, but still there. He stepped inside. Each step echoed. The ship's voice stayed in his helmet. I will guide you. Go right. There is a control room ahead. Rayan followed the directions and reached a small chamber. A control panel blinked faintly. It was running on emergency power. He wiped dust off the screen and pressed a few buttons. Suddenly, the screen lit up. A weak voice played, repeating the same words over and over. Earth is safe. Do not return yet. Stay hidden. Repeat. Earth is safe. Do not return yet. Rayan listened carefully. The message kept looping. It had been playing for nearly 300 years. Why would they say that? He asked. Why would they tell everyone to stay away? It was likely a last warning. Something may have happened on Earth. Or to Earth. Rayan looked around. But the message says Earth is safe. Yes, but it also says, do not return. That means someone did not want the human fleet to come back. He stared at the screen, his mind filled with questions. Why did humanity disappear? What were they hiding from? Why leave ships like Solace behind? Then he noticed something on the console, a button labeled Signal Chain. He pressed it. Lines of light appeared on the screen, forming a network of dots. These were old human ships and hidden stations. Many were dark, but a few dots blinked, faint and far away. "Commander," said Solace, "these are sleeping fleet units. Some are still online waiting like I was." Rayan felt a chill. "How many?" 37 active. 300 plus may be offline or damaged." Rayan stood up straight. "Can we send them a message?" "Yes, but it will take time to reach them all." "Do it. Tell them. Tell them a human has returned, that we are not forgotten." "Message preparing. This is Commander Rayan. I have awakened. You are—" "Not alone. Earth is not lost." He nodded. "Send it." Back inside the ship, Rayan returned to the command chair. The nebula glowed around them, but he felt something even brighter inside, a feeling he had never known before. Purpose. He wasn't just a janitor anymore. He was part of a story older than he could imagine. "Message sent," Solace confirmed. "Now we wait," Rayan smiled. "And what happens when they answer?" "Then the fleet begins to rise again." Outside the station, the Vanta 12 hovered in silence. But deep in the cold corners of space, something had started to change. On distant moons, old ships lit up. Buried cores came online. Damaged ships woke with blinking lights. Their AIs whispered. Ancient words. Human detected. Orders received. Awaiting contact. Rayan looked out the window. He didn't know what was coming next. Maybe danger. Maybe war. Maybe something even worse. But he knew one thing for sure. Humanity had never died. It had simply gone quiet, and now the silence was breaking. Rayan stood near the window of the Vanta 12, watching the stars outside. The nebula behind them was glowing like a colorful cloud. But his mind wasn't on the stars anymore. It was on the message they had just sent. Somewhere out there, other ships like Solace were waking up. He looked at the screen in front of him. A few dots had begun to blink back. 1, then 2, then 5. Each one was a ship, or maybe a station, responding to his call. "Solace," he said quietly. "They're answering." "Yes, Commander," Solace replied. "The fleet is beginning to wake." Rayan's heart beat faster. These weren't just machines. These were human ships, loyal to a people that most of the galaxy thought were gone forever. He asked, "Can we talk to them?" "Not directly. Their signals are weak. But they recognize your message. They are ready to follow new orders." Rayan shook his head slowly. "I don't know what orders to give. I'm not a real commander. You are human. That is enough." Rayan took a deep breath. "Then I need to know more. What really happened? Why did Earth send out that message? Do not return?" "That information is not in my memory, but there is a backup record, a secure data core, stored in a secret location." "Where?" "A black site called Orion Vault. Only humans can open it." Rayan nodded. "Then take us there." 6 hours later, edge of a dead zone. The Vanta 12 flew carefully through an area known as the Silent Belt. This part of space was feared by many. Ships that entered it often disappeared. No signals came out, no lights, no sound, just silence. But Solace knew the path. Rayan watched the map. "This is where the Orion Vault is hidden?" "Yes. Deep inside a ruined asteroid base, built by human hands." They passed old wrecks, ships with no names floating in silence. Alien vessels, destroyed long ago, drifted like broken bones. Finally, they reached a massive asteroid. It looked like nothing special, just rock and metal. But Solace scanned it and spoke. Hidden entrance detected, activating signal key. A small door opened on the side of the asteroid. Solace flew inside slowly, lights guiding the way. Rayen saw old markings on the walls, symbols from Earth. Some were numbers, some were words. For humanity, for peace, he read aloud. These were our values. The ship stopped inside a dark chamber. Ahead, a large black door waited. It had no buttons, no panels, just one flat surface with a glowing handprint. Rayen stepped out of the ship and walked toward it. He placed his hand on the glowing mark. The door opened with a loud, deep sound. Inside, blue lights lit up a long hallway. At the end was a silver sphere. Floating gently in the air, it pulsed softly like a heartbeat. "This is the memory core," said Solace through Rayen's earpiece. "It holds the truth." Rayen reached out and touched it. Memory playback. Begins. Suddenly, the room changed. Rayen saw visions all around him. Like a living dream, he saw Earth, beautiful and bright, full of life. He saw human leaders speaking in fear. Alien empires had grown too powerful. War was close. Then came the decision: disappear, hide, wait. Humans shut down their ships, buried their stations, and sent a message across space. Do not return. Wait for the right time. They believed the galaxy needed to forget them before they could return. Rayen watched it all, shocked. The last command was spoken by a woman in uniform. Her voice was calm but full of sadness. One day, a human will awaken the fleet. That day will begin our return. Be patient. Be ready. The visions faded. Rayen stood alone in the quiet room. He now knew the truth. Earth was never destroyed. It had chosen to vanish, like a tiger hiding in the grass. And now, that tiger was ready to rise again. Back on the ship, Rayen sat in the command chair, thinking deeply. "Solace," he said, "I understand now. We weren't lost. We were waiting." "Yes, Commander." He looked at the blinking dots on the screen. "The fleet is small now, but we have hope. More units may respond soon. Your signal is spreading." Rayen smiled. "Then let it spread." "New message prepared. Ready to transmit?" "Yes. Send this. Earth lives, the silence is over, rise wherever you are." Solace sent the message across the stars. Somewhere old ships heard it. Deep under dust, inside old caves, and beneath alien oceans, human technology stirred. Lights turned on. Voices whispered in forgotten languages. Rayen looked at the stars. He knew a storm was coming. Some alien powers would not welcome the return of humanity. But he wasn't afraid. The fleet had waited long enough. Now it was time to return. The message had traveled far, and the fleet was rising. "Solace," Rayen said. "How many ships have responded now?" "Currently 53 units active. More are powering up in remote systems. Their AI cores are synchronizing with your command." Rayen smiled. "We're more than a shadow now. We are a fleet." The gathering over the next days, Vanta 12 traveled to meet the waking ships. Some were small scout vessels, others were massive war cruisers, old machines with scratched hulls but powerful engines. Each one carried an AI like Solace, waiting for a human touch. The crews were empty, these ships were automated, but their AI had memories, history, and loyalty. They responded with respect and hope. One cruiser, the Valiant Star, joined Rayen's command. Its AI greeted him, voice calm but proud. "Commander Rayen, the fleet awaits your orders." Rayen felt a surge of pride. "We don't want war," he said, "but we will protect what's ours." We are here to rebuild, to remind the galaxy that humanity is alive. The galaxy reacts. News of the human fleet's awakening spread quickly. Alien empires sent spies and warships to investigate. The large Dominion coalition, once enemies of Earth, feared the return of a forgotten power. At first, there were threats and challenges. But Rayen chose a different path. He sent messages of peace, offering dialogue and alliances. He said, "We return not as conquerors but as guardians. We remember old wars, but we seek new peace." Some species were wary, others curious, a few even hopeful. Return to Earth. Rayen's final mission was the hardest, returning to Earth. As Vanta 12 approached the blue planet, it looked small and peaceful. But it was hidden behind a strong shield, one that blocked most sensors. "Solace, why the shield?" Rayen asked. "Earth protects itself. It hides from the galaxy, waiting for the right moment." Rayen felt a mixture of sadness and hope. "We're back," he whispered. The shield opened slowly. Vanta 12 entered orbit over the green and blue world. Rays of sunlight shone over the oceans. Rayen saw signs of life, cities hidden beneath forests, technology blending with nature. He heard a voice, soft and welcoming. "Welcome home, Commander." A new beginning. Rayen stood on Earth's surface, surrounded by a small group of humans who had lived in hiding for centuries. They had waited for the fleet's return. They looked at Rayen with hope and respect. "You have brought us back," one elder said. "The silence is over." Rayen smiled. "We have waited long. Now it is time to rebuild, to show the galaxy who we are." Solace stood beside him, lights glowing softly. "The fleet is ready. Humanity is ready." Looking forward, Rayen knew challenges lay ahead. Some would fear humans, others would try to stop them, but he believed in the strength and spirit of his people. He looked at the stars, shining brighter than before. The galaxy was vast and full of unknowns, but humanity was back, not as forgotten shadows, but as a rising force, a force of hope, peace, and strength. And it all began because a janitor walked up to a broken ship. Because sometimes the smallest steps lead to the greatest journeys.